What's up, everybody? Happy Philly Fridays, city of brotherly love. I'm Philly, just taking a quick break, almost to work. Slow and steady wins the race when you got some medical issues with your back and stuff, but doing what you can to take care of yourself physically is important, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We talk about it all the time, right? Biggest thing here, though, for today, Friday, I was listening to the current Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Wolfe, and he, I think I mentioned it in another video. He said, chief is a verb, go chief. And as a reservist, you have to be creative, traditional reservists especially, 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. Should I be chiefing 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year? In my opinion, no. Chiefing is a verb, and it's something you carry within you in your everyday life, at home, your family, in friendships, in leadership positions, and whatever work you do in your civilian jobs, right? But it also digs into something a little deeper that I think a lot of people don't talk about. Getting to chief and being developed. I am a chief. It was not a pretty road to get here. The floodgates didn't open. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I didn't have the most perfect path. I had a lot of resistance. I had good feedback, naysayer feedback, just to kick me while I'm down. And then people that really poured into me and developed me, right? That got me to this point. However, and I'm not saying this to be mean, I've seen some chiefs that have been very proactive, even as an airman, that I really looked up to. And then I saw chiefs that were quiet, but they still made impact in their own special way. So being a chief and chiefing comes in all different shapes and sizes, just like leadership, not one size fits all. You have to know what's good for the culture, for the people, or the individual you're dealing with. You have to mature to adapt to how you're going to connect with the person to get the point across, to get them to where you need to be. And your leadership may not be bad leadership, but it's not the right leadership fit for that individual person. And that's a hard pill for people to swallow. Even commanders, right? They have a commander's intent. Like, they're doing things, they're going down this road, and they're like, why is my so-and-so not connecting with me? Because maybe it's connecting in the manner you're doing it with these types of persons, right? These type of personalities. But this person, they need it delivered differently, or they need a different approach so you don't lose them. It's a lot of work, and it's very strategic, but it's very important. That's why they talk about different personality tests, different leadership styles, knowing your people, so you can build the right team, right? And then put people in positions to get their strengths in, and then give them that hard feedback of what their weaknesses are, help them self-reflect on their weaknesses so they can make them strengths and be a better, well-rounded person. But I want to go back to being a chief. Being a chief, getting to chief, a lot of people take a beating. And so by the time you get to chief, some people are like, I made it to chief. Like, I'm just going to do what I got to do to get through. Because by the time they make it to chief, they are so burnt out of getting there. And that is what the enlisted corps needs to fix. Chiefs should not be getting burnt out getting to that point. Seniors, even a harder rank to make than chief, by percentage wise, should not be burnt out when they get to that point. And we need to do better in developing. We need to chief. Chiefing is a verb, like he said. And for me, my reflection is, I want to make great leaders that are not burnt out by the time they get to the top. I will tell you, I was burnt to the crisp. When you make chief, you've been in for 25 plus years, maybe sooner than that, if you fast tracked, which could be good, could be bad, right? Some people need to sit in the same rank for a while. They do, right? Just to develop. And some need to sit in other ranks for a while. There is no one size fits all. So that's why you can never compare to other people's development and the way they're going. Because everyone's development is different, and there's a reason. Everything happens for a reason, and we're on our own path. And there is no correct or wrong path. if you're properly developing and pursuing things and not letting it get you down and pushing through adversity, right? And asking for feedback and knowing like, I'm ready, but the opportunity's not there. So I'm going to grow in this moment, right? And don't compare. Don't get down if you're not selected for a position. Find out why you were not selected and make yourself better. We're not perfect, right? I have not been selected for many positions. I asked for feedback. Sometimes I got it, sometimes I didn't. But I learned lessons through them, and I didn't let them get me down. But there were moments, yeah, I things got to me, and I was like, man, I just want to quit. But I had the right tribe around me to pick me up, got me out of my negative thought, because we're human. We can hit those points, and got me back to where I need to be. And being a chief, you feel a lot of pressure. You always feel like, I'm not doing enough for my people. And then there's some that are like, I do enough and that's enough, right? The biggest thing for me, though, is chiefing is a verb. And if chiefs are burnt out, you're going to see it because they're not going to be very active. They'll be there. I'm here for you guys, whatever you need, you know, but not as involved, not as motivated or inspired. Because A, they've been in for so long. B, they took a beating developmentally. And C, the wind is out of their sails because their bodies are breaking down, or maybe they're going through those changes in life. And we all need to come together, like chiefs groups out there need to come together and, you know, hold each other up and be open and honest. First sergeant councils need to be there for their chiefs and be there for each other, right? There's strength in all those groups, and they should all be supporting, helping each other, checking in, because no one's above anybody, right? We have rank and position to lead, but as humans, you know, we're all human, and we need to be human, and it's okay to be human. So the key root cause, from what I've seen in my personal experience, is when we're developing our airmen, the beating they're taking, by the time they get to chief, some of them are burnt out, and you're getting chiefs with nothing left in their step. And I feel that, and I battle that every day because I have medical conditions, you know, 95 plus, every single PT test for 20 years straight. After 20 years, my body's gone downhill, with disease, broken parts, injured stuff that's just never going to recover. And then, you know, experiences in deployment that curb your thought process, curb your comfortability in certain locations, and you don't know why you're feeling anxious. You don't know why you can't turn off your head on a swivel. You don't know why that noise just made your heart beat fast, you know. So that mental health is very important. That's why you have a lot of resources out there, and I really want to encourage every leader to take those resources, you know, and run with them, tap into them. They have helped me tremendously stay motivated. So resources, people, and the people you serve, let them motivate you. Get to your airmen, get involved, see what they're doing, get to know them. It will refresh, remotivate you. And the last thing I want to say is, which is the book I wrote on leadership, my very first one. It's probably not perfect, you know, I'm sure it'll be critiqued, and that's fine, but it's called Don't Go Silent. And in leadership, sometimes when everyone's freezing, when no one knows what to do, they're looking for the leader in the room, and you do not want to be the leader that's silent and doesn't speak up. I think Chief Wolfe making a speech and saying chief is a verb, go chief, you know, he's pushing out and speaking up, sitting in that position. Now we need to align, and we need to go chief. In the past, we've had other Chief Master Sergeants of the Air Force, you know, come out and speak up. I remember when there was a lot of tense stuff going on in our world, and we were waiting for our leadership to speak. And sometimes leadership is paused to speak because they don't want to speak incorrectly. They don't want to push out wrong information or bad direction. And you don't want to be emotional. You want to be smart and about the people and about the mission and make sure everything aligns. So yes, sometimes there is a delay, but sometimes things happen in life and a leader needs to speak up. And mad respect to Chief Wright, mad respect to that man, because when the airmen were waiting to see what their leadership was going to say and nobody was speaking, myself included, I'm waiting. He spoke up. Whether you agree with his perspective or not, I mean, it was a great angle and a great insight. People need to respect the lens he was looking at, right? And he was open to other lenses. I've heard him speak and talk about that experience. And he may have lost some people, but he gained a lot of respect from a lot of airmen, I will say. So shout out to you, Chief Wright. And then Chief Tim White for Air Force Reserve Command followed in suit right after the Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force spoke, right? And it gave me, at the moment, a first sergeant, a direction. So then I took that and made sure my people knew we were going to have open conversations, hard conversations, because our leadership is. So if you're in a leadership position, your people are waiting for you during the toughest times in our country, in the things we face when we're out there on missions and mobilizations. They're looking for their leaders to step up. And in those tough moments, when no one wants to speak, when you're a leader, especially when you're a chief, you don't go silent. And that's the lesson for me. And the book is going to be really good for anyone that reads it. And those that don't like it, that's okay. It wasn't for you. There's a million other leadership books out there. But, you know, I always tell every single person that I speak to when we talk about leadership that, you know, when you talk to somebody, when you make a speech, not everyone's going to like it. It's not going to land, right? Just we have so many different types of personalities, people that process things differently, and that's okay. But the people you are meant to inspire and motivate, it's going to touch them. And if you've helped one person in your efforts to make a difference, it's worth it. It's worth the criticism, it's worth the critiques, and listen, just don't listen to it. Don't listen to any critique or criticism. Listen to it from the people that you trust, your trusted agents, your tribe. You ask them for critiques and criticism. Don't read stuff, ignore it, okay? Be smart, be about what you're doing, and know that behind closed doors, the integrity piece, you're going to struggle. Everybody's going to struggle. And if you say, I don't struggle, get real, dude. Look in the mirror. We're human beings. We have moments of ups and downs. And all I can do is tell you to be encouraged. You will make it through these storms. You will make it through those lows. And when you're on those highs, you need to ride that wave and pour everything you have into your people. Right now, I'm on a high. Eventually, I'll be on a low, right? And I'll have to get it together and get some friends to help me. And that's the journey of life. You know, some people, things are thriving in their lives. Others, people are losing their family members or going through tragedies or breakups and, you know, rebuilding their lives. So whatever season you're in, just be mindful that not everyone around you is in that same season. Hurting people hurt people, but healed people heal people. So stay strong, stay safe, spread love, not hate. Happy Friday.